And it's like I'm constantly being told my life don't matter, man. And it's weird. The weirdest thing is like it's coming from society, because okay, it's like this situation. Okay, everything I disclose been facts. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I operate from under the will of the Holy Ghost. Everybody know that by now. Everybody see signs, wonders, everything. Just like back in Jesus' day. You know what I'm saying? They see the proof confirming everything. And it's the weirdest thing, because it's like constantly. My life is like I'm being blatantly told by the country, seem like that my life don't matter for being a Christian. You know what I'm saying? We've still, I don't know, man, but thinking of in terms of like the shock of consciousness and things like that. Okay, just alone, what I've disclosed in the past couple months, I talked about this undocumented, illegal, unconsented, like implantations of, these torture devices and things like that, apparently, to which there was implemented in childhood. Now, that alone, before we even go on any further, in childhood, children are innocent. You know what I'm saying? This was did without my knowledge. And, it's a lot of ways that could have, that could have made or created the circumstances for that to be carried out. Whether no matter who was satanic cults or whatever culture, whatever. The bottom line is, that's right there. That's just like, that's kind of like insights. The bottom line is, it's the people. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I was born within the lands, and all this happened within the lands. You know what I'm saying? From 94 all the way to now. Looking at things essentially. And so, at some point this happened, and you can trace events that's corresponding with my life and things. Anybody who cared, they can look and find, what I'm saying, and they know how my life been intentionally sabotaged just to make it almost impossible for me to have, legal, like traditional justice. You seen all this happening, and that's what my testimony captured the whole process. So, just alone, when you think about it, it's weird, because it's like, okay, that alone it's far past the shock of consciousness. I'm a Christian. I've been black all my life. And this happened to me. So it's like, well, okay. It's almost like everybody indifferent towards it. I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, and then, when we go on a little further, like, how, I mean, it's just the strangest thing, man. That far past the shock of consciousness by itself, And then the fact that I'm still being inflicted with it at somebody's discretion. You know what I'm saying? To this very day. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like, I can't pursue justice or things because everybody that's doing it, they being allowed access to like full access to my life. I don't know how or why. But, I mean, I wouldn't never, any healthy minded individual would not, want any kind of association with anyone who did this to him, had anything to do with it, or knew about it. And then the funny thing is, like around the time when like, okay, a couple months ago, at the height of this, when I came to the like personal realization of all of this, it was overwhelming. Like when all of this started adding up, and it makes sense. Anybody can see it. I posted about it and I talked about this when I first started bringing up, these torture measures and tactics that's like was way more personal than I ever thought. Back in 17, 18, 16, 15, I didn't even know, you feel me, that it was ever this kind of, I didn't know it was this deep. But there was a lot of things that were happening I just could not explain. And I know I'm not crazy, this was actually something somebody did, you feel me? And then when around that time, a couple months ago, when I started posting the quotes about it, talking about this, I went in very detail for the whole world to see in my quotes. I even talking about it in recordings and everything. But it's almost as if it's normalized. It's like nobody even cares that it even happened to, an innocent child, black child, and then with a blessing of God on my life, extraordinarily talented, showing and reflecting that clearly, obviously, at will, anytime. You feel me? I mean, it's like my life really don't matter for my Christianity. You know what I'm saying? It's no secret that anybody who would do these things obviously deserve, just common sense. You feel me? I mean, come on. Like, this right here is like, words can't put it into any, you can't put it into words. And there's nothing that can be given to me that could fix it other than justice. Mammon is not enough. You know what I'm saying? My whole life has been taken from me since before I was even old enough to make my own decisions. Somebody made that decision for me, and then everybody blaming, injustices for everything. And I'm like, well, we can't just trivialize this whole situation, because if this was injustices did this, then they are officially a terrorist organization. You know what I'm saying? And then the thing about that, people were saying defraud, them and disband, this organization and things like that. And they were saying it in response to my quotes. But that was before I ever said it was, injustice that did all this. You feel me? So it's like people were saying it before me and everything, is almost to like kill my story. I only recognized that kind of like a strategy because of the things I was going through in 2017, when I was talking about things that were happening right outside my door, in my immediate, atmosphere. I didn't know who was doing it, why they was doing it, but they was 100% Antichrist, because they saw my life of Jesus the whole time. Every day. So whoever was doing it, they had a very specific, direct hatred for Jesus Christ, whoever was doing it. And so, just like earlier this year, when everybody was saying in advance, like at the same time I started posting my quotes about what was happening to me, everybody was like, pushing this trend, like, defund the, the injustices and things. And that's understandable, but it's like, why right then? I've been talking about things the whole time, like this whole situation the whole time, and I've been having just as much publicity as I had this year. So it's just weird. The whole situation weird. So I just didn't understand, like, why, it's just a situation that's hard to get your head around, like, really. Man, this is and not to mention there's certain influential figures that had key parts in this. Anybody who do this to somebody, it's no way possible that they, come on. So it's like people even like, and it's weird because it's like even people, it's the strangest thing when you think about it, because I don't know, man, like even people that you wouldn't expect seem to share that same interest that Black Lives don't matter by their conduct. You feel me? It's like they're saying Black Lives don't matter by what they did to, and what they enable or allow to happen. They're saying Black Lives don't matter. Like, if this is okay with everybody, and the situation slowly being allowed to be to dissolve without justice, cunningly, and this been happening the whole time, and then they misrepresent you fighting rightfully for your life, your legacy, and your ministry, what you believe in, Christianity, and things like that. They make it so it's basically saying your life don't matter, my life don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Because they're still being like, this stuff is weird. It's like everything I've said, I know 100% is groundbreaking. All my quotes and recordings, everything groundbreaking. But it's like everybody's so confused on purpose. It's like almost as if people are confused on purpose. It's like almost as if it's an intentional thing. Judging by how, the timing of everybody was saying like defund and defraud around that time. And I'm thinking, yeah, but it's worse things I already been saying been happening in my everyday life. this is, of course, extremely horrific for a person to have to live like this. You know, I mean, I'm strong. I wear it well, but no living being should be subject to this. But it's like I'm talking to a wall. Like the whole world, like the country don't care. And so, I don't really know. What else can you say? That's why it was did like this on purpose. Like, they made it in advance since a child to make it to where, and that's the most like skittish and cowardly thing ever, man. You know what I'm saying? To do this to somebody in advance. You know what I'm saying? And you could tell now by the nature of all the things that I've disclosed to the world that it was an intentional thing, and it had more in it than what people know, like, apparently. So it's more to it than people familiar with. That's why I still get forced disappearance on in secret and stuff like that every day almost. Anytime when attention not on a situation, I'm getting disappearance forced on me. No end. I get no rest. You know what I'm saying? I can't even do what I do. You know what I'm saying? I earn a living. I can't, preserve my ministry. None of that. I'm always getting like forced out society because there's more to it than I guess the commonplace know. And if they know about it and it's still happening, then that tells you something about the lands. But it's more to it though than where everybody is unknown. Because I know personally, firsthand experience of the nature of the things I've gone through. And you understand the toll it take for, at this point, you know what I'm saying? You got the people that was these evil influences and stuff that was doing this stuff back then to have any kind of access to your life now. Like the psychological and emotional toll that takes, but the structures know that and they're using that to their advantage, exploiting me. They know that with somebody going through the things I've gone through, which they know I've gone through because I watch me go through them every year, for me to see that these people still got access to my life and interacting with me, after the things they've did to me without cause, consistently 365 every year, extreme evils, without cause, including larceny and my ideas stolen and stuff like that. That's the weirdest thing ever. Like, that's it's past the point of disturbing. They say influential figures are above the law. They really are above the law. And the only resolution anybody have for me is either exile, forced disappearance, mammon. And the mammon ain't even real. This is trap. You feel me? It ain't even no real mammon. You know what I'm saying? If I accepted something, some kind of increase for the things I've gone through, it would not be sufficient enough. You know what I'm saying? You can't pay for a person's life. You know what I'm saying? Especially a child. And they did this in a childhood and then it transitioned into their adulthood. So it's like their whole life has been taken from them. And this is okay. This don't disturb nobody. Not enough for somebody to directly address it for me. I don't know. And nobody ain't gonna care until it's too late. So then that means the Baphomet has successfully destroyed a person's life from the point they was born all the way to their death. And the whole country and world was all right and just stood there and watched. So that in itself justifies the rest of the revelations and how cruel and God is finna become on humanity. That's an example, because that means that it been successfully completed from a person's birth all the way to their death. Their whole life been destroyed without a cause, out of jealousy. You feel me? Out of somebody else's covetous and want in their life. They destroyed their whole life while the whole country, society, and the world just watched. You feel me? They the Antichrist Baphomet. I'm just saying, like, they definitely the Antichrist Baphomet. But that's weird though for people to be saying. I understand where they were coming from, like defund and and all of that, disband. Because that's a terrorist organization. To be honest, that's a whole terrorist organization. If there are people who take responsible for this, that's terrorism, man. Before domestic terrorism, like before anything is looking like, before the world looks anything like it is now, I was going through this, what I'm saying, like 6-7 years ago already. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't do anything but follow the gospel of Christ the whole time. Everything else, was people framing and trying to stage situations. I mean, I guess, man, at this point, if it ain't nothing nobody can do, then I just want them to take my father's name out the structures, man. Because they have successfully removed and severed the whole land from him. You know what I'm saying? Officially at this point, because even at this moment, without even saying it, they've already declared allegiance to the devil, over God. So, it's crazy, man. And then some people be saying stuff like, that's like, personally being there, that's like going back in time, stabbing Jesus on the cross, and before that, whipping him with the little whips. You feel me? And then later saying that, you know what I'm saying? Later claiming Christianity. And that's weird because the whole time before that point, the miracles of God had already been witnessed. So that's just, it's just the weirdest thing ever. You know what I'm saying? But this is one of the single most gruesome crimes in American history. And it's so bad that nobody is even recognizing it. Not just American history, but the world history. You know what I'm saying? And then the only solution is to try to take my testimony and hide it. Now, let's talk about that. You know what I'm saying? That's impossible because of my testimony. It protects itself. You know what I'm saying? I created my testimony. I got art and things that's unrelated to my testimony, but it's still me though. You know what I'm saying? It's my stuff, my content, my creations that I create and opine and originate, and innovate. So it's still all my art. Some of it I talk about the things I've gone through, my testimony. That's a testimony of the things that were happening that led up to this point to prevent it from ever getting to this point. But then all of that was, I don't know, somehow, ignored by the whole world, and so just to allow it to get to this point anyway. And then if it's ever found that somebody tried to tamper with the visibility of it, then, it's declaration of war, but I don't have no army. So they cowards. You feel me? They declare war on an innocent child who can't defend themselves because of something they think God did. So just imagine. So God like, okay, well, you think you did this to this innocent to this baby because you think I did this or something like I had something to do with it. Well, you finna see how it is when I really do something. That's how God think it. And so you see the rest of the revelation about to unfold because God gonna show them like, now if it was me, then this is what it'll be like. You feel me? And then they'll never stand again, ever. This is the facts. This is coming. But you see examples leading up to this point, just like my testimony showed, everything that led up to this point to prevent it from ever happening because the power is in the people. You know what I'm saying? I showed the people because I had the wisdom to. So it ain't no way possible that my testimony, that any of my stuff could be hidden or taken by anybody. Because that way all this was did to my life in order to be able to do this. It was a crime in order to be able to ultimately be able to take my stuff. It was premeditated, like larceny, pre-contemplated. It was, creating problems just to be able to fix them. That's a crime, in a person's life. All of that was all combined together. And they did this against Christ Jesus, knowingly and willfully. And so whoever support, whatever they support, is admitting their allegiance to the devil. You know what I'm saying? Because only the devil is the opposite of God. The opposite of Christ is anti. See? It all connects. But no, man, that's impossible. You know what I mean? It's just a couple things, man. This is a ridiculous. This is exceptionally, exceedingly grievous.